Hey everyone, Teddy and at Teddy's Movie Club. Today I'm going to be doing a vampire film double dose. The first film I'm going to be talking about is Abigail, which I streamed on iTunes. And the second one is a DVD of Dracula, the original living vampire. Sorry, I just knocked the camera. I'm going to start off with Abigail. I streamed it on, I bought it on VOD on iTunes, and it has audio description, which is really good because not all films on iTunes have audio description. Basically, the plot, I'm not going to go into too many spoilers, but I'm going to give you the overall plot. Then I'm going to say what I liked and, So the overall plot is a gang of criminals are tasked in kidnapping a little girl. She's 12 years old, but the AD says she's around 10, but in actual fact we found out she's 12. And the fact that the group of criminals find out eventually who she is, and they realise they've effed up majorly. So, obviously if you have watched the film at the cinema or seen it advertised, Abigail was a vampire, and she starts hunting off the gang of criminals one by one. I don't know who the little girl was who played Abigail, but I found out that, well, not found out, but I thought her acting was very good. She could play scared, or she could play really terrifying. I mean, kids are terrifying at some stage. I don't know for from first-hand experience. I'm not a mum, so, but just the fact that I've been a kid and we can be little shit sometimes. But anyway, just like you've got Joey, who's the main sort of woman that's tasked to look after Abigail. She blindfolds her when she's kidnapping her, and gives her anesthetism to settle her down to sleep. And she's the only one that's supposed to be in and out of the room where Abigail's been held. Obviously she's handcuffed to her bed so she doesn't try and escape. And then you've got Mr. Wiggles. I love Mr. Wiggles. He's so funny in the film. He's only in for a short amount of time, spoilers. But, he was a really good character. Then, what's his name? Frank. You've got the guy with the glasses, Frank, who accidentally wanders into the bedroom where they've got Abigail trapped, or so they think. And, of course, he wanders in. Obviously, she's got no blindfold on at this point, and he hasn't got a mask on to protect his face, so he freaks out and basically terrifies her, and she's just using them Abigail's using them to a certain way. She's trying to pit them against each other. She's saying little nuggets of information to Frank and Joey, and maybe not turns one of the women in the group into a vampire, but there was a very cool sort of mirror sort of dance scene, which sort of did remind me of Megan a little bit with the dance scene, but this was more ballet in focus, rather than Megan was just like, what would you call the sort of dancing Megan does? Anyway, not getting into Megan, but this is more delicate dancing, and but it's just like Abigail is just such a badass as a little girl vampire. I mean, she's had a couple of centuries practice at it, and of course, just like she pits the criminals against each other. Then obviously the criminals turn on each other. Then they've got to realise they've got to support one another. Then it gets down to the final two. I'm not going to tell you who are the final two, but if you've seen it, you already know. But if you've seen this is slightly a tangent to the end of the film, but near the end of the film. But this is set in the Ready or Not universe. Have you seen that film with, oh, who's it? Is it Samara Weaving? I might not be saying that name right. Who plays the bride who has to play hide and seek on her wedding night? And yeah, it's set in that similar universe. So there is like kills that remind you of Ready or Not. So if you haven't seen it, go and see it. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, and just obviously at the end of the film, a new character comes. I'm not going to spoil it here, but you know, it's pretty obvious who comes at the end. It's not one of our criminals. I'm not saying who, you know, the final, you know, I'm not saying who comes at the end, but it's pretty obvious because who arrives at the end to, you know, end the film sort of thing. But I really, you know, going back to some of the characters, Joey I liked, you know, she was an army medic, you know, her character was an army medic who got hooked on morphine, and of course she had to beat addiction, and of course she turned addiction into eating sweets all the time. So throughout the film she's just eating, like, Americans will call it candy, but we in the UK call it sweets. So she's eating sweets all throughout the film. A lot of the other criminals are drinking, partying, and of course Joey doesn't want to be a part of the partying crowd. You've got the hacker, oh, what's her name? Is it Sam? I can't remember, but you got the hacker woman, who's the other woman in the gang of criminals, and she's, you know, a rich little girl who got into stealing money from people. Excuse me. And, you know, just, you know, I think she's probably blonde, because she does a lot of, like, the stupid sort of, I'm not saying all blondes, but she does, like, the typical horror movie tropes, like, oh, I heard a noise, let's go towards the noise. Or, you know, one of the other gangs just scared me, so I'm gonna follow his screams into the next room. And I'm thinking, why would you do that? But, you know, she did have a good point at one time when she comforted Joey. But just like, so this has been a bit about the film and my thoughts. You know, I was going to separate them, but I did really like this film. I found it highly enjoyable. I wish I could have seen it at the cinema, but it was only in my local cinema for maybe 2 weeks, and I totally missed it. But I did love it, you know. I'm going to try and recommend my friends to see it, so yeah, that's all I'm going to say with Abigail, because, like, you know, I don't want to spoil it too much. I think I have spoiled a couple of things, but I'm sorry if if I have, but I will give Abigail 4 out of 5 stars. I really did like it. I had a lot of fun with it, and I thought it was a decent watch, actually. So yeah, I will be putting posters in this video about Abigail, because obviously I don't own it on physical just yet. I have pre-ordered it, but I don't think it comes out in the UK until next month, so I'll be showing that off on my next month's haul and on Instagram. The next one up is my DVD copy of Dracula, the original living vampire. That's not an easy whole title to say. I'm going to show you the back. Hopefully you can see that right. This came out in 2022 from what I understood from Google, because I googled it, and this doesn't have audio description, but I managed to follow it anyway. It's about a cop at the top of her game who has to investigate these grisly murders, all about women with red hair. And of course, like, she's got her, like, sort of other she's got like a friend who does like all the medical procedures and all that, and he's really into like the occult, the supernatural, and of course, like, you know, she's tasked him to find out what, because like they found some blood at the scene of one of the crimes, and like she gets him to sort of like, oh, what would you call it? Sort of like, you know, analyze it. Yeah, that's the word, analyze it. And of course, like, he finds something which is an anomaly, and he starts consulting in his books, like, of the supernatural. And of course, you know, he's trying to prove to her that it's not something human, it's something supernatural. And of course, she just doesn't want to know. She's like, you're the best in your field. I need you to have proper, logical, cold, hard facts. And of course, like, it gets into like the third act of the movie before she even considers it might not be human or animal. It might be supernatural. And of course, I'm thinking, if you've known a guy that long at work who's always got good results in the tasks you've tasked him to do, and he's telling you it's chocolate, a vampire, and you're dismissing it. You know, just like, I know we can't begin to, you know, I know some people really delve into the supernatural and all that, but obviously, if the facts all point to supernatural and you're still not believing in it, well, I don't know what to say about that. But just like, he eventually convinces her it's a vampire. And of course, like, the vampire, by this time, this is just going to be a quick review, guys, for this film, because obviously, you know, I've chatted a lot longer on Abigail, but I'm just trying to keep this short, maybe under 10 minutes. But, you know, Dracula kidnaps the cop's wife, because, you know, they're in a lesbian couple together, and, you know, because, like, obviously her wife in the past has had, obviously, natural red hair, and obviously Dracula is only interested in women with red hair because his wife, you know, centuries ago had red hair. And he, you know, because he finds her wife, because he's trying to, you know, sort of lure her into a trap where he's pretending to look for homes to add to his, oh, what do you call it? Oh, that folder thing, portfolio. Yeah, that's it. He's trying to add homes into his portfolio, and of course he's tricking the cop's wife into believing, you know, he's doing this. And so by the end of the film, the detective cop and the guy with the supernatural knowledge, you know, they're trying to track, so I can't speak today, track Dracula down. That's not easy to say when you've got a speech impediment. And obviously, you know, they're getting thrown about, and you know, trying to save I can't remember what the cop's name is, or her wife, but you know, the cop and the guy, I think his name, the guy that is with the supernatural, I think his name is John. And you know, they're trying to save her wife, and they're getting thrown about. That, you know, they're just getting pushed left and right and centre, and you know, just like, eventually, like with all vampire films, or nearly all vampire films, they overcome him. They overcome Dracula and manage to save the cop's wife. And you know, it's just like, you know, because they've defeated Dracula, they've defeated all the other vampires, they've defeated the familiar of Dracula, which, you know, which I'm not going to say who it was, but it was someone on the police force quite high up. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else. But yeah, this movie ends with, you know, just a group of bats just flying towards the camera. So, is Dracula still alive? Did he manage to, you know, come back from the grave? I don't know. Just like, you know, I even watched the whole credits just to see if there was like a post-credit scene, but you know, there wasn't. So I don't know, is Dracula alive at the end of this film, or is he not? So you know, this film was okay. I enjoyed it for what it was, but it just like, it wasn't as good as Abigail. You know, I would, and of course I think I got confused with some bits because obviously it didn't have any audio description, so some of the bits I might not have managed to pick up on. But I would give this film a 3.75 out of 5. So 3.75 out of 5. I think it's alright. I'll keep it because, like, you know, I like a vampire film, and, you know, I probably might rewatch it either around Halloween, either this year or next. So yeah, that's all I've got time for today. So that sounded like TV, you know, report. Oh, that's all I've got time today. So blah blah blah. But no, I will see you all soon. Hopefully this review wasn't too all over the place. I think it is, but you know, I've already tried to record it about 3 times and I've just messed up each time. So this is going to be the final edit, you know. And you know, sorry for, you know, the lack of reviewing. I'm still not very good at reviewing, but I'll try and get better. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend, even though it's what, nearly 5 o'clock on a Sunday. So boo if you have to go back to work tomorrow. But you know, I'm going to be seeing Bad Boys 4 tomorrow. Going to go with a couple of friends, and you know, but that will be a review for another day. So take care everyone, see you soon, bye.